time frame, I activated. Now this is where the indicator comes in. I'm not constantly staring at it. I want to see if I'm inside of the range. Yeah, I always overlay my candles with Armageddon. I'll show you what it is that I'm looking for. But let's say I'm looking for a pattern that is tradable. I want to focus on, and I see this mumbo jumbo here, and I'm like, yeah, what if we're going lower now? The punch out strategy dictates that we must have a breakout above the 1.5 Fibonacci level here. None of it happened, but using our modified uh, version of it, this breakout strategy is actually what it is that we have to take our ladder and we have to scale in the opposite direction of the candle uh, that originally um, that turned white. So the color shift here is very important because it starts a new Elliott wave count away from the A, B, C, and then we have some hope, some light at the end of the tunnel here. And when it shifts the color, first thing we look at is momentum. Are we supported by momentum? Here we happen to have a mag 7 continuation setup. It's not perfect, but these shorter C bars, they're starting to align and there's some confidence. We have the C dot. We have, most importantly, this yellow line here, momentum Z, is very important. It is just starting to go over the zero line. And it happens to be on this candle. We look at the volume here and we see that this candle peaked its head above the 50 moving average on the volume bars over here. I use it a lot to see if, like for example, like these two candles here, they're okay, but they're not peaking their head above the water line. Okay, they're still underwater here. They went for some oxygen, so they peaked above. And so this candle here is now telling me that I should scale using Bybit Pro from here down to here. And at the same time, I should put my stop loss at minus -0.05. Now notice this wick over here. Okay, and I'll tell you what's happening here. So because of this, price started to kind of go down and go up. Every time it would go down, fill me up and go up, I would use Bybit Pro limit order. I would go to sell. I would go 90% and I get rid of it because I know it's going to fluctuate here and we're far from the breakout line. Because my understanding is that if we break out, we can add here even more contracts and be more safe and feel more safe about it. But that did not happen here. So we had a little, and I'm watching for the 1.5 level to close. This is me using punch out because this is the most appropriate strategy here. I don't see any. I was not long here. I was exiting here, as a matter of fact. This was my market enemy type 1 play here. And if you know me, once I get filled and price goes up, I immediately exit the majority of it. And then the rest of it, I exited higher at the first flag or at the last sign of resistance, which happens to be this blue line. So first sign of resistance, 90% out, 10% I keep it running. Second or last sign of resistance, I exit the rest of it. And that brings me here inside of this range. Color shift, I go for punch out because I have two options. I can go for dragon skin, but I don't see it. It's kind of hidden in between all these. It's not as clear like this. The dragon skin is not visible, so I'm not sure. But I know there's a color shift on the candle, so this calls for a punch out strategy. And I want to see a close above 1.5 level. I don't see it, okay? But I know that it's going to attempt, so it's going to range sideways. So I scale my order, my ladder, all the way down to the end of this candle. It picks me up, I immediately sell it. I cancel my orders, I scale in again. It goes down, goes up again. I look at the momentum and I'm like, man, the green cloud is just starting. The blue wave is just starting over here. Everything is pointing to the upside. And VVS is one other element that I look at is looking very strong here. There are no vivid signs of a serious dip here. So, okay, I get most excited when this yellow, think of it as a rubber band, and when you stretch it far enough and release it, it will snap back and push the momentum, the compression, the cell pressure gets absorbed. And even over here, sometimes it'll take some time to play out. Depends on the velocity at which, volatility, how aggressively is the market participating in a down move or an up move. So here we have, this finally shows me a red dot backed by this, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna scale in, and in this case, I go on my other account and my client's account. And my other account, I initiated all of them using the drop down window here. And I have scaled in position size that was very appropriate. And why did I ignore the red dot here, or the fact that these two candles, the green dot, it usually indicates a continuation to the downside when it happens after the pyramid. I'll show you some examples. But you will see that this was not the case, and I saw this wick is where the buyer stepped in. So my theory that this highly traded area right here was well equipped with buyers, and they wanted to get in on this baseline reclaim. Attempt one, push the price up. Attempt two, push the price up. And when I saw this blue dot on the Max 7 setup, I said, forget it. Not taking any profit. I know this is going to be a powerful move, and there it was. So that was the setup from last night. Couple of things I looked at that we should probably dissect right now, right away.